All right, we'll give it about one more minute because we are still having a lot of people who are coming in. Once it slows down, um, we'll get ready to rock. But I want to first of all say thank you to everyone who is participating in this webinar. Very much appreciate your presence here. I'm glad that we can be of support to you. And our goal is to make this session very informative, to give you the resources and information that you need so that you can have a successful National Voter Registration Day. For those who may not know, my name is Alan Blackwell, and I am the Partnership Coordinator. If you get a second, make sure that you write down the save the date. I'm pretty sure everyone here already knows save the date, but just in case you may have missed it. So with that said, because we're about 5 after, and I want to make sure to be mindful of everyone's time here today, I am going to begin. So with that said, once again, my name is Alan Blackwell. I'm the Partnership Coordinator for National Voter Registration Day, and very much appreciative that you are here today. Today's webinar is about Community Partnerships 101, how NVRD can empower voter engagement in 2024. So our job today is really to inform you of what we're doing and how we can support the initiatives that you're doing in all your various locations. The agenda for today. But first, before we begin, I want to do a quick housekeeping. The webinar today is being recorded, and that the recording will be sent out by the end of the week. And we will share this with anyone who was applied for the call or signed up for the call. So if you happen to have to jump off or if something comes up, please know that we will send you this information in a follow-up email. So don't worry if you have to check out. And with that said, just know that everyone that we are recording this and that we will be posting this on several social media sites also. So you may come across it in other materials. So our agenda for today is first to talk about National Voter Registration Day. I'd love to share the holiday with you and some of the new plans for this year. Then I will go over community partners and the expectations and the goals and responsibilities of being a community partner. It's a very unique and powerful position. So I'd love to just share how you're integral to this work in connecting people to voter registration. We'll speak about a grant that we're releasing for APIA organizations, and we'll get into the details of that. Also know that this is our second grant process that we've run. The first one was for community colleges, and they're all dependent upon funding. So as funding comes online, we do expand our grants program. And eventually, once we have additional funds, we will open up a third group of grants, which is our event grants, just so you know. So the information, just in case you say, hey, this doesn't apply to me, still get the information because if the next grant opens up and the funding comes online, the timeline will be very similar. The expectations will be very similar. So it still is relevant information to you. What's next? Give you some key dates and resources. Don't want you to leave out here empty-handed. Make sure that your time is used wisely. And then at the end, we'll do Q&A. If you have any questions, there is a box at the bottom for Q&A. Please insert your questions there. We'll do one of two things. Either someone from the team will answer your questions, or two, I will answer the questions at the end of the presentation. But my goal is to make sure that you have everything that you need so that you can leave this webinar and have a successful NVRD. First, I want to thank our generous sponsors. These are some of our financial sponsors. So if you ask, like, how do we have these grants? These are the organizations that help make that possible. And as funds come online from these different organizations who are supporting initiatives, we take those grants and distribute them out through our micro grants process, just so that you know. So National Voter Registration Day 2024. Let's talk about this holiday. So first and foremost, just so you know who we are, National Voter Registration Day is a nonpartisan civic holiday. It is a 501c3 that is managed by a nonprofit vote. Our nonprofit vote organization is who oversees this holiday and makes sure that it goes as according to plan. The way in which we like to describe it is nonprofit vote is kind of like air traffic control, right? Its goal is to make sure that everyone is able to get where they need to be. If there's any questions or if there's there needs to be clarity on anything, that you have a resource or a person or organization that you can come to and get those questions answered. And if you have any issues, that you have a trusted resource that can help you, no matter what your political affiliation is. One of the beauties of National Voter Registration Day is because of our nonpartisan nature, we have the ability to be in all rooms because our goal is to have more people register to vote and participate in the electoral process. It is partner driven. So one of the beauties of our organization is that we're a support to you who does the groundwork, right? So as you're out here registering people on your campus, in your community, working with your diverse group of partners, what we are here to do is support you and give you the resources so that you can have a safe and healthy holiday, right? It's like what I like to explain is sometimes you know that your intentions are right, but you just don't know the trusted sources to get that information so that you can fulfill that intention. So that's what we're here for. It's really to give you those resources. A lot of our resources come directly from state websites. We have some attorneys that we've worked with and other organizations that help us to make sure that we're giving you the most accurate information available. Also, we create tools and resources to help bring visibility to the registration process. Though we know it's different in every state, our goal is always to give you the information that's relevant to where you are at that time, right? So a lot of our resources, I'll give you one more example. We have a state-by-state guide that will be released soon, and that is specific to each state so that you're not getting just the generalities of the voter registration process, but you're getting how does it impact your community? What do you need to do on your end as an organization to ensure that you have success? So on the left-hand side, this is our new poster that's just been released. Some new information that's coming out. So just so that you know, our poster this year has been different than in previous years. We're not only releasing the paper version that you will receive in the mail if you've registered as a community partner, but we also have put up our old posters and the current poster on Canva so that you can include your information in the poster itself, right? We know that some people have great penmanship. If you're anything like me, you can use a little work on it. So this gives you the ability to type it in and make it standard and visible for anyone who needs to read the information or know where to go to participate in NVRD. We are also releasing our 2024 state-by-state guides. Great thing about the state-by-state guides is not only is it information on a one or two pager, but it also includes links to those resources so that you can go to your state, you can go to your election site and get the information that you need, or if you have a question, it addresses those. We've also redesigned the NVRD website. So if you go to our website, nationalvoterregistration.org, you can see that we have a new and improved website that is definitely more appealing and definitely looking to share out the information that we're giving out to partners. Also, it gives you the opportunity to look through, if you look on the very top on the header, some additional resources to help you out, help you successfully plan your holiday and execute it. We also will release our communication and social media toolkit on July 1st. And then we are in the process of building out fact sheets specifically to community partners, high schools, campuses, election officials, and employee engagement. So if you are a part of any organization, you're looking to do one of these activations in particular, we will create a fact sheet directly for you that you can download and use within your organization to ensure that you have the accurate information, you're able to communicate it to everyone. So our goals for 2024. So as you can see, our goal was first to sign on 100 plus premier partners. Our premier partners are really our large national organization and corporations that provide a lot of additional resources and activations. Some of those have turned into sponsors and helped to fund our grants program. So our premier partners are really a cornerstone of the work that we do. But I would say that the reason why this is what it is because of our community partners. Our goal this year is to sign on 4,500 community partners. And we're currently moving in the right direction. We're really having a lot of success. I really give a lot of credit to our partners, our premier partners, and our community partners, because as a community partner, you would think, well, I'm just advocating for my organization. In reality, you are a pillar of your community and you're a resource point for a lot of people. So I'll use one of our partners who's on today, Houston. Houston Food Bank really has led in this initiative of not only leading voter registration within the community, but empowering others who want to do it. And also signing up additional food banks to participate in the process. That expansion of resources and knowledge really builds out the work of the holiday and really gives credibility to us and other organizations that are doing this work to ensure that they have a respectable pillar in their community to go to and say, hey, if I have a question about voter registration, I know who I can go to and who I trust. Also, we are looking to register 750,000 new voters on NVRD, which you would say, hey, that's a huge task. But when you look at the stats of how many Americans are not registered, and that quite often what we're finding is that people just need a trusted access point, that this is a very doable goal. And with 4,500 partners, it's even more doable because you're within the community, signing up those people who are looking for someone to connect with. And I think that's a great opportunity. So as a community partner, what does that mean, right? You're saying, hey, I'm a community partner. What does that entitle me to? So let me share. We have two different categories. Our premier partners, as I said before, was our corporate and national organizations. And they really focus on, I would say, the larger portions of getting our promotions out, using their platforms to expand NVRD. Some of our partners will post their our national voter registration information on their website, within their organization, and even use as an activation for employees to engage more with voter registration. And then as a community partner, really the goal is to be on the ground, right? And give that hands-on face. I'm a person that very much values face-to-face interaction, and that, you know, if you're speaking to me and I get to look you in your eyes, I get to shake your hand, I find that to be more trustworthy than maybe someone barking from an area or telling me that I should do when reality is I don't know if they do it. And then also gives you the opportunity to cross promote, right? Because you become a part of the collective. That on NVRD, on National Voter Registration Day, you are a part of the movement of registering people. So you're not in isolation, you're not alone, you're a part of a group. And that's always a great opportunity to not only be that pillar, but to connect with other organizations that are doing similar work and make partners. Also to participate in our webinars and take advantage of our resources, toolkits, etc. Right? It gives, as a community partner, these are great moments to participate in our webinars. This is a unique webinar because it's just me, but if you've been in some of our previous webinars, we bring in a lot of speakers, organizations, media outlets to speak to the work and give context and more clarity on how to participate in the holiday. And I think those are always helpful, especially if you have maybe a comms person who can have more information on how to participate in the process. Or if you're maybe a director and this is your first participation in NVRD or National Voter Registration Day, and you're asking, what are the things that we can do as an organization? These are the great launch points to get that information. So as you can see, this is a current list of our partners, our community partners. So you can see we're already over 1,300. We're already across the country. I think we're in almost every state. And to some extent, the reason why they may not even be up here is just because someone hasn't connected with them. So if you see, I'm gonna use North Dakota as an example just because it's right in the front of the screen. But if you have a partner in North Dakota that really can benefit from NVRD, I ask you to reach out to them and just say, hey, here's a great cause to be a part of. They have some good information. Please reach out to them, right? And let us take the lead from there, right? I know that many of you are doing a lot of different tasks. So if you ever have a question or if you want to refer someone to an organization, always refer them back to us. We're here to help, right? And then you can always refer them directly to me. And I'm more than willing to just give them any information to make sure that they have a successful holiday. So what are the strengths of a community partner? First and foremost, you're trusted, right? You as a community partner, you are a part of that community. I always laugh when I think of how we are all Americans, but we all speak differently. We all have our own nuances and our own cultures within this country, right? So knowing those things is what makes us all unique and also makes us a part of a collective. So being trusted and a part of that community is always a benefit, right? The connection to community, you know the right people to ask. You know who knows what, right? And that's very important. In some of my previous work, I would always say the elders were a great resource because everyone in the community knew who they were. So they were a cornerstone in that community. So my goal was always to empower them because they were so connected to the community. Outreach, right? You have the ability to know where to outreach. We have partners that work at churches, work in grocery stores, work at schools. So there are all different points in which you know that you're more effective at. And that gives you the ability to really be the knowledge base on that. Local knowledge, right? You know what's needed, a broad network, and then last but never least, community roots. That connection to community is what makes all of this work. Voter registration is very personal. It's very connected and tied to community. And as a community partner, you are that connection. So it's very important to know that this is most effective when you're participating. So how we support you, right? How does NVRD participate in supporting an organization that wants to be a pillar in the community? First and foremost, we have supplies, right? Everyone here who is signed up as a community partner has the ability to complete our community partner form. And in that, you have access to our digital and print posters. So the digital is released. You will just be able to click on a link and go through Canva and fill it out as you need. But you can also order posters for your events so that you can post them up. We also send out stickers. I am a person who works in elections. So I know when we do voting drives, or more importantly, election day, if you do not have that vote sticker, you could pretty much shut down your site because that is a very important piece. And we don't provide the vote sticker, but we do provide a national voter registration sticker to let people share how they're participating in the process. We do have tailored resources specific to our partners. So fact sheets, toolkits, webinars, really built around what can best support you as a partner. And then we also release press kits and toolkits to support the work that you're doing. So you say, hey, I want to do more. I want to do more press. I just don't have the resources, or I have a great social media mindset, but to create those different items is just hard to do. That's what we're here for. We have a great comms director on staff who creates some phenomenal social media tools. And it's a great opportunity for you to take his thought process and put it on your page and sharing the experience of NVRD, right, as a part of the team. And once again, I would like to always say this all comes to you at no cost. I always say that the cost is your labor, and the work that you do is so valuable that on our end, we take on the responsibility of covering the cost to get you the materials because we understand the importance of the work that you're doing. So the 6 rules of being a community partner, right? Because everything has to be within the guidelines, right? Because this is what makes it work. First and foremost, you have to be nonpartisan. The National Voter Registration Day is not the day to argue who you want to elect as the president. It is the day where we are looking for inclusivity, right? We're looking to build those relationships. You have the opportunity, a very unique opportunity, to say voting registration is the important thing. That to have the voice to pick the president is where the power lies, not in who you pick, but the ability to pick. And that's why we're all participating. It's for the opportunity to use our voice and say, if we agree or disagree with anyone, that we have a forum and a platform to do that. You must be inclusive, right? This is a shared experience. The beauty of National Voter Registration Day is it doesn't have a singular look. It doesn't have a singular approach. There's nothing singular about it. We have posters in multiple languages. We participate in webinars and activities of different languages and cultures. Some of our strongest partners are of diverse communities. So we are always looking to build relationships. The beauty of National Voter Registration Day in comparison to a lot of organizations that may say they do this work is that we are always looking to include more people. We're not looking to exclude anyone. So whatever you bring to the table is valuable because you represent a community of people who are similar, right? And that is important. Also, be informed of your state voter registration laws. We know that every state has its own voter registration laws, and that's why we release the toolkits and the information to ensure that you have the most accurate information so that as you stand in front of your community members, you are the best representation of information for them. Also, stay non-transactional, right? It is not, I give you something so that you give me something. This is not that relationship. This is a very much, we are here to be of service to the community. And that service is the most valuable thing that we can be because we are showing through our work and our time that this is what we stand on and what we stand for. I would say on National Voter Registration Day, and you can actually do it up into, is our hashtag vote ready, right? Be vote ready. Getting people involved in the process of being vote ready, right? And this is the key step in it, is that you have to register so that you can vote to be ready. And the importance of that and using that hashtag so that as we look through the day and as we're looking to highlight the work of our community members, that we use this hashtag as a point to research and look for those organizations. So if you post it under your social media, it will come up in our feed. And then last but never least, have fun. This is this is a day of celebration. This is a day of happiness, right? This is the beauty of democracy, is that we can all come together and speak to whatever our issues are and be a pillar for other people. That is a great thing. So have fun with it. Make it fun. Involve more people. It's always a room. It's always more fun when you have more people involved. So never feel like you have to push out groups, or if you want to collaborate with another group that may just bring, excuse me, may just bring excitement, right? And I'll use one of our great partners, Pizza to the Polls, right? You may have a local, or you may hold a local activation, and you're like, hey, people really would enjoy some pizza. There's an organization within our partnerships that you can work with and get additional resources, and that's one of many partners that are doing this great work and being of support to community members. How can you help make the holiday a success? First and foremost, just host a voter registration drive. You would be amazed at the number of people within every community that are not registered to vote. And quite often, the barrier for entry for them is access. So you're the access point. So always know that holding a voter registration drive gives you the ability to give people access to information they need. And that's always important. Cross-promoting NVRD, right? Once again, going back to my previous point about being a part of a community, that cross-promotion aligns all of us and says, hey, these are the partners that we stand with and that stand with us. And I think that's always important. And then participate in the webinars. If we have, as this presentation goes on towards the end, I'll present some of the webinars that we have coming up. I ask that you sign up for them if they're relevant to you. And if they're not relevant, please just participate just to see maybe there is something, an idea that you can take from us, or something that you hear that can be influential to what you're doing. We always try to sprinkle information within the information, right? So it's like our goal is always to not only give you what's the most important pieces, but to give you some techniques and abilities, some techniques and strategies to make your holiday more successful. So we are releasing our newest grant, which will come out for API organizations. And I just want to go over the process and procedures for that. But I once again would like to say, if funding comes online, our events grant, which is a wider grant that expands to more organizations and people, will be available. So even if this doesn't apply to you, this information is still relevant to you. And if you're a community college who has received our previous grant for community colleges, this information will be helpful for you if you're in the process of ideating the activities that you want to do for National Voter Registration Day. So first and foremost, to be a part of any of our grants process, you must first register as a community partner. We send out that link in multiple activations and e-blasts, but if you need that information, it's located on our website. This grant in particular is for organizations that are serving Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islanders, American Indians, and Alaska Natives, right? So those are the ones in which this one supports. But once again, I'll say that with funding comes online, we will have more grants available. Some of the uses of the grant funding, so I'll just pick out a couple on here and you can read through them as I go, but community canvassing, which is such an important piece because you're door knocking, you're going to people, you're talking to them within their space, is a great activation, right? Let's say you're a small organization, you're like, hey, we don't have the bandwidth to send people to doors. Digital ads, right? You can use the funding to do digital ads and just promote the holiday, just helping to get it out in more hands and more people. Another resource that has always been phenomenal, and I would say from our community colleges, was one that I really saw several times and loved, was having guest speakers come on and also using that as an opportunity to bring in volunteers, right? One school in particular, and I apologize, I don't remember the name of the school, was really looking to uplift activism within their school, right? And there were students who were already doing this work and just did it throughout the year and found this day to be a day to really highlight their work, right? Because if there are students who are dedicating themselves to the work, the school found it as a great opportunity to highlight those students and uplift them. I thought that was a phenomenal idea because it is not only is it highlighting the work itself, but it's empowering people who are doing the work. And I think that that's always a great opportunity. So if you have people within your community who are really great activists and speak to the importance of voter registration, this is a great opportunity for them. And then last but never least, language translations. We know the diversity of America. We know that everyone is not predominantly an English speaker. So if you work with a specific community, or if you work with a community that there's a large portion of them who speak a different language, there's always an opportunity to translate the materials that we disseminate in different languages. So that's always a good point. I think right now we translate into 7 languages, which are the most dominant. And I won't rattle them off for the fact that I might miss one. But when you fill out the community partner form and you complete the portion for posters, you see all the options available there, and you can fill those options out. So our timeline for eligible organizations. The APIA grant will go live on Friday. The RFP closes on July 11th, so there are short timelines. The grantees are notified by August 1st. This is something that would go across the board. The acceptance of the award letter is August 8th. The signed MOU, so this is an MOU between us and that organization who received the grant, is on August 15th. We distribute the grant within 4 days of that, so that's on the 19th. So it's important to, if we notify you, that you're answering back as soon as possible because we're on a pretty quick timeline. Also that you participate and promote National Voter Registration Day on September 17th. And then on October 1st is when I will receive all your proof of events. That's just sharing out materials, information, and images that occurred on the holiday. Any activations that you've done. It's just a great opportunity for us to collect all this information and share out with our funders and supporters the great work that our partners are doing. We always love to highlight our partners. If you happen to get a chance, go on our website and look at some of our previous annual reports. You'll get to see there's a lot of key information around partners activations and love to highlight that for you. Also, this year we do have a National Voter Registration Day Google Calendar. And when we send this out, just click on that link to the right and you will be able to sign up for our Google Calendar in which you will be updated as soon as new information comes online. It's a great place to kind of find out what's going on behind the scenes and get that information firsthand experience because as we update the calendar, it will update your calendar. So you'll have the opportunity to know exactly what we're doing when we're doing. So what's next? Key dates and resources. So save the dates, right? If you have an opportunity, screenshot this right now, highlight, write down, do whatever you need to, because these are the webinars that we have coming up. So in July, we have best practices for engaging with candidates. And if there's no date associated with, that means that we just haven't finalized the date. However, once we do, we will first upload it into the calendar. So it's important to sign up for the calendar. Gear up for the civic holidays. That's a webinar with us and our other civic holiday partners. Great opportunity to find out how from National Voter Registration Day to Election Day, all the different partners that we work with and activations that are going on that you could participate in, because you may say, hey, I love the work on National Voter Registration Day, but I need to keep that momentum up until November. Our partners will help you with that. Our state-by-state voter registration guides will be released in August. We will have a date set, but once we have that, we will put it on our website so you can go there and pull your state specifically. We also will have our civic holiday webinar. Once again, that's working with our civic holiday partners on August 6th, for the previous in July. We actually finalized that today. Our community partner webinar, number 2, crafting your comms and social plans. And that'd be a great opportunity if you're like, hey, help me with some ideas on how to get more people involved. This is the webinar you want to attend, and this is a great opportunity for you to see some of the different materials that we disseminate so that you can align your information with it. Also, we're holding a webinar on AI and misinformation. We're doing a whole series around that where we'll have speakers from large corporations like Meta, Microsoft, and Google who will share what they're doing on their end to protect us against AI and misinformation, but also what we can do as everyday citizens to protect ourselves and make sure that we don't fall uh, into those pools that sometimes I quite often find the misinformation just kind of redirects our attention versus actually informing us. And then last but not least, our community partner webinar number 3, which is the last minute NVRD planning, right? You're coming up, you're about a month out for NVRD, something happened, things change, the world is moving, and you have to do something different and you need some help. That's what we're here for, right? Is our webinar is going to be geared around what are some things that you can do within the last couple of weeks to make sure that you have a successful NVRD. Key resources. So this we'll send this out, and thank you that we wrote out the translated poster so that you have it for your records. But we will release the community partner form is found on our website. So if you go to our website right now, you should be able to sign up as a community partner. If you have not, we do release our NVRD e-blast monthly, and as we get closer to the NVR to National Voter Registration Day, we will release it twice a month. Our Google Calendar with the key dates, our APIA grant guidelines, FAQ. So if you're an organization that is APIA focused or support the APIA community, you have access to the grants and the guidelines. Our 2024 state by state guides, which will be released on July 1st. To the point, our translated posters, just so that everyone has it, will be in Arabic, Chinese, Haitian Creole, Hmong, Korean, Tagalog, and I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, Spanish and Vietnamese. So it'll give you an opportunity if you work with specific communities that if you had a poster in the language of that community, it would be more impactful. We will have those resources. We are releasing a new communications and field toolkit. So these are great toolkits for if you're communicating with external partners, some press release and language that you can use to make sure it's successful. Our field toolkit is for those who are doing the work on the ground so that you can have strategies and techniques to have a successful field outreach. And then our social media toolkit, which will help to round that out so that you can work on establishing your presence within the social media platform, or even more so to expand and show others that you're a part of this collective. So with that said, excuse me, if you have any questions regarding community partnerships or grants, you can reach out to myself, Alan Blackwell. My email is on the page. If you have any questions around sponsorships, or you want to know more about how you can maybe connect a premier partner or a large organization to us, you can have them reach out to Cheyenne Sapp, who is the campaign director for NVRD, and her email is located here. And if you have any general questions, you just have a question, you need clarity, and I will tell you right now, you'll be amazed at how many people send us an email like 2 in the morning because they had a thought about something. Send the email. It's fine. We'll respond back to you. So please feel welcomed. And also, I would say that quite often when you ask a question of us, you're not the only one. And if we're able to answer that question, you're actually helping us to support other organizations that have similar questions. So it does hold a lot of value. And please feel free to ask any question that you may have. With that said, we're going to move on to the Q&A. We're moving a little faster than usual. So what I will do is I will look real quick to just make sure I answer any questions that may have come up while I was presenting. So I do see a question about the webinar not being clickable. We will send this out in a follow-up email, and all the links will be accessible through that. Um, is National Voter Registration an online voter registration day? It is both online and in person. Our community partners are really the key to it. So I would say it is more of an in person because the direct connection of talking to people is where the power is. What if your org is registered as a partner, but under a former colleague's contact information? Just fill the form out again and put in the most current information. We will assess between the two, and we will actually probably send out an email. If you want, you can email me directly, and I can go in the back end and check that out if you have that issue. If you're already signed up as a community partner, will you receive posters and stickers? Yes. If you filled out the form and you stated that you wanted posters and stickers, yes, we will send those out. If for whatever reason you may have not done that, please go back into the form and fill it out and update that information so that we can have the most accurate information. Are there any Spanish resources? Yes. Most of our materials are translated into Spanish, and that will be especially our poster. So if there are any questions that come up regarding Spanish language as a barrier, reach out to us and we'll work to support you. Someone asked if we can move the date for National Voter Registration Day. Unfortunately, this year the date is set. We do every year do take into account holidays, other activations that are occurring around similar times. So this date was strategically picked this year to ensure that people are available and that it doesn't conflict with any other major holidays. But we apologize if it doesn't align with the schedule that you have. And are the posters available in Arabic? Yes, they will be in Arabic also. You just need to state it in your community partner form. What to do with the paper form once they fill it out. So once you filled out the paper form, you become a part. So two things will happen. One, we'll include you in our correspondence. So you will now start to receive all our updated correspondence. And as we get closer to National Voter Registration Day, we'll start to reach out to you directly to solidify that you want to move forward and that whatever materials that you requested, that someone's available to receive them. So we will actually follow up with you prior to NVRD. It won't be one of those situations where we will just show up like on the 17th. We'll just say, hey, what have you done? We'll do a lot of lead up to that. And also I would say if you have an opportunity to participate in the webinars, that's also another great place to get additional information as we get closer. We will start to hash out some of those questions you had. How often do grants like AAPI grants become available? So all of our grants are based on funding availability, and it's really just funds available. So as funds come online, if the partner specifies what organizations they want to support, or communities they support, we are just kind of a processor for that. We don't internally as an organization have no say on that. We just are really trying to ensure that the audience that is asked to be supported is able to have access to that and able to work through a trusted partner for it. Would you be interested in sharing any information on statewide high school voter registration day? Absolutely. I would ask that you reach out to me separately about your high school voter registration because we do have an activation specifically this year for high school students. And I would love to talk to you more about how you can participate and how we can get more students invested. Can we sponsor an event on the day and still represent NVRD? Absolutely. So you can do cross collaboration if you're hosting I know that in several places they're doing Flag Day. I think there's another holiday that's very similar that organizations are mentioning. We do support in that. We do support as long as it's aligned with align with our mission and vision, right? I don't want to say we do participate no matter what the holiday or no matter what the activation is, because some activations really don't align with what we do. But if it does, absolutely, you can have multiple events on the same day. And just for the sake of time, I see two more questions. I just want to make sure I address them. As we develop plans for our event, how do we update you on our efforts? So anytime that you're planning an event in collaboration with us, always reach out to us. We do send out a form after to collect information from our partners who are hosting events. But if you're in the midst of an event or if something is going on, please communicate that to us because we may or may not have the answer. But because our network is so large, we are a trusted resource to maybe connect you with someone who can answer your question or at least help to seek out the right response. And then the last question I see is, do I have a brochure to help establish student VR groups on campuses? Yes, we are actually in the process of developing a toolkit specifically for students on campuses and dealing with, with students on campuses and also supporting high school students. So if you need something specific to those audiences, please reach out to me because we're in the process of developing the toolkits for those audiences and we'll make sure to support them. And then are you able to share the community colleges that were awarded the community college grant? Unfortunately, I cannot share that on here because everyone is not knowledgeable if they were selected or not. But I will say if you happen to have not received a response from us, please send me an email separately and I will get that answer to you within 24 hours. With that said, I want to first of all thank you all for participating and being here today. You are very valuable and I very much appreciate the work you're doing. I want to also give a shout out to our premier partners who have jumped on this call to be a resource and extend any way in which they can support. I want to also give a thank you to the Secretaries of State who are participating in this presentation because the advocacy for your community and the ability to know what partners are doing is valuable. And I want to thank you. And last but never least, I want to thank the team at National Voter Registration Day because there's a lot of hard work that occurs in the background that quite often no one sees, but is very much appreciated and matters. So with that said, we will send this presentation out. If you do have any questions that I may have not answered, please feel free to reach out to me, Alan, at nationalvoterregistrationday.org, and I will make sure to answer your questions. Thank you again, and look forward to talking to you soon.